I have a question for you. Are your clothes fitting you just a little bit tighter these days? Well, you're not alone. Try this on for size. More than a third of Hampton Roads adults, 36%, are overweight. Even more startling, almost as many, some 30%, are obese. And our children are not faring any better. But like me, you should be startled to learn that the overweight and obesity rates for Virginia's children have tripled since 1980. Coming up on Health Watch, we have a plan to help us all win the battle of the bulge. Stay tuned. Hello, I'm Terrence Affer Anderson, and this is Health Watch. Okay, before we get started, I feel obliged to give you an update on my own weight loss effort. Honestly, I have been up and down a bit, but I have lost 7 pounds. To tell you the truth, as you can probably appreciate, it hasn't been easy. But we want to share with you today a very special initiative being staged by a host of local agencies designed to help you have fun while shedding those pounds. It is called Walk Norfolk Week, and is a novel campaign to get people motivated to become engaged in one of the most simple and enjoyable forms of exercise there is, walking. In a nutshell, here's the skinny on the campaign. Minus the waterways, the circumference of the city of Norfolk is some 40 miles. The goal of Walk Norfolk Week, which is open to residents from throughout Hampton Roads, is to walk that distance over 8 days, from Saturday, May 30th through Sunday, June 7th. Did you know that the average sedentary person, one who spends most of their day sitting, is already getting in between 1,000 and 3,000 steps a day? That's the equivalent of 1/2 mile to 1.5 miles a day. We just want to motivate you to do more and to make it a part of your lifestyle. The health benefits are considerable. Walk Norfolk Week kicks off on May 30th at 9 a.m. at the main Norfolk Public Health Center and features an inaugural walk in Norfolk's old Atlantic City region, as well as an array of free health screenings. So that is our topic today on Health Watch, Walk Norfolk Week. And as always, I have brought on board some experts who promise some pretty engaging and enlightening discussion. First up is Dr. Rosalind Brown, Treasurer of the Greater Norfolk Medical Society. Next, we have Steve Shapiro, President of the Tidewater Striders Running Walking Multisport Club. Finally, we have Mr. Philip Brooks, CEO and founder of the Norfolk Community Health Center and former administrator of the old Norfolk Community Hospital, once a mainstay in the black community. Guys, thank you so very much for joining us today on Health Watch.
We're delighted to be here.
As am I to have you. I'd like for each of you to tell us a little bit about your agencies and to give you an opportunity. Who am I going to start with first? Let me check my notes. Dr. Brown, the Greater Norfolk Medical Society. How long have you guys been around, and what do you do?
Okay, the Greater Norfolk Medical Society it evolved from the Old Dominion Medical Society, which is the local branch of the National Medical Association, and we've been around or been incorporated in nonprofit since 2009.
Now, the National Medical Association, that is an association principally comprised of African-American doctors.
African-American physicians. And our goal is to, we're a group of physicians that treat African-American patients.
Okay, all right. And Steve, Tidewater Striders, when I first learned of the Tidewater Striders, I believe it was chiefly a running club, but it has evolved over the years, and you have multiple components. I know one of them is a youth group, and you mentioned earlier something called Power. Tell us about the Tidewater Striders.
Yeah, the Striders have been around since the early 70s. We've got about 1,800 members. We're one of the largest running clubs in the country. But we've branched out, as you said, originally it started as a running club. We also have walking, and we have multisport, which normally is triathlon, swimming, biking, and running. And we do a lot of things for the community. We offer scholarships to high school students. We put on our own races. We time numerous races throughout the year. We do pickups on streets, adopt a highway, adopt a trail, and offer training programs. But we also recently started a youth component called New Energy, to train our youth throughout the Hampton Roads area. And more recently than that, a group called Power, which is for our disabled community. And that's become very successful as well.
Okay, then we put some information up on the screen, contact information about most of those groups, but the Power group, how does someone get information on Power?
Well, there should be a website on the screen for the person who's on our board that is pretty much the main contact for Power, and he would be the person, Todd Humphrey, to contact if someone has a child and they want to get involved in that program.
Okay, Mr. Brooks.
Yes.
The Norfolk Community Health Center, as I was sharing with you earlier, I have fond memories of Norfolk Community Hospital. I had 2 surgeries performed there. Now, while not a hospital, the Norfolk Community Health Center provides a vast array of services. Tell us about the Norfolk Community Health Center and how can someone reach where you're located, how can someone reach you?
Yeah. Norfolk Community Health Center grew out of Norfolk Community Hospital. It's a multi-specialty clinic providing internal medicine services, general surgery services, and podiatric medical services. We're located at 1401 Tidewater Drive, Suite 1, and our phone number is 757-628-1430 or 623-0095.
And you know, a great acquaintance of mine is my primary care physician, Dr. Angela Mercer. We went to high school together many years ago. Well, for her, it wasn't that long ago. For me, it was ancient history.
Well, you're dating yourself, but
Yeah, and I don't want to date her.
she's our medical director.
Yes, and a great lady and a great doctor, as all of the physicians there.
Yeah, the other physicians, if I may.
Sure.
Dr. Richard Wright, who's a general surgeon. Dr. Frank Mercer, who's a podiatrist. We have Dr. Diana White, who's a doctor, has a doctorate from UVA, just recently a nurse practitioner.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
And a good number of the doctors from the Norfolk Community Health Center and the Greater Norfolk Medical Society are going to be providing services at Walk Norfolk Week. Again, we have some free health screenings that we're going to get to in just a moment. Dr. Brown, I gave some statistical data earlier, and what I'd like to do for our viewers that are not informed, I want to read some information from the CDC, how they define being overweight as having a body mass index, a BMI, of 25 or higher, and that obesity is defined as having a BMI of 30 or higher. It also notes that in children, being overweight is defined as a BMI at or above the 85th percentile and lower than the 95th percentile for children the same age and gender. And that obesity in children is defined as a BMI at or above the 95th percentile for children the same age and gender. What are the health consequences of being overweight and obese?
You have coronary artery disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, stroke, liver disease, just to name a few, gallbladder disease. There's several diseases that could affect the body, even osteoarthritis can be a problem.
Is it true that children that are overweight and obese can also suffer from some emotional consequences? Can you tell us about that?
That's definitely true. They can suffer from depression, anxiety, mood swings, even reduced life expectancy.
Really?
Even,
yeah.
Yes.
And I guess with issues of self-esteem too, because they probably get a bit of ribbing.
A bit of teasing from others to other children, exactly.
You know, I had some guests on not terribly long ago, and I confessed that when I was a little kid, you might be able to relate to this, but I was what they used to call husky.
Yes.
You know, I hadn't gone vertically yet, but I was there horizontally.
Right.
So I did a bit of ribbing. I got a bit of ribbing. But what are the potential benefits from regular physical exercise, like brisk walking and so forth?
Yeah, brisk walking, so you could definitely reduce the weight. It'll increase your mood, increase your ability to your vision checks will be better. It decreases your blood pressure, so it just helps you with your overall.
There's a lot of benefits to.
There are a lot of benefits to walking.
Just as there are consequences of being overweight and obese.
Exactly.
On the flip side of that, conversely, there are a lot of benefits to exercise and so forth. Yeah. Now, Steve, I'll start to call you Dr. Steve. That would be appropriate, right?
I did stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night, but I'm not a doctor.
Okay. My acquaintance with the Tidewater Striders began with Dave McDonald, Okay, we did a program. I was doing a documentary for the United Negro College Fund, and while featuring a runner with Tidewater Stratus. Again, the group has grown. You have what, 1,800 members now?
Right.
And you spoke about being focusing on all abilities, and you made a reference to people with disabilities
Right.
still being able to run. Can you elaborate on what you guys are doing?
Sure. I mean, we have a lot of elite runners, and Dave certainly was one at his time. Ran in the Boston Marathon, qualified for the Olympics. So we've got elite race walkers, elite runners, and elite triathletes, but we also have what we call middle of the pack or back of the pack competitors who finish, somewhere towards the end of a race. So we have people of all abilities. Some people are members who don't compete at all. They just like the camaraderie of the running club. We have youth, and as I mentioned earlier, we have a program for the disabled community.
For the disabled communities. The Stratus, do you have people that join whose primary goal is to lose weight?
I don't know if that's really prevalent. Certainly there are some, and usually our races that we have, like in January, beginning of the year, you see a lot of people coming out who made a New Year's resolution to lose weight. But certainly there are people that have done that, and I know some folks that are friends of mine that have lost quite a bit of weight since becoming active. Walkers predominantly have lost close to 100 pounds, continue to do that, race and race competitively, and just the mentorship of the other people around them at group training sites really stimulates them to do the best they can.
Okay, well, we're going to take a momentary break here, and when we come back, I'd like to talk about a success story that you might be aware of with the Tidewater Stratus. And appropriately, in as much as we're talking about losing weight and fitness, we're going to take a little break here. It's called T2 Fitness in 60. Features a young woman by the name of Tasha Turnbull, who made a brother sweat the last time she came onto the show. Really worked me out. So we're going to take a break now and take a look at the fitness exercise. Tasha Turnbull, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Tasha Turnbull with T2 Fitness and your T2 in 60. We're going to do 2 exercises today to get your heart rate up, and then we're also going to move into a compound exercise that's going to work the total body. So I have some weights. If you don't have weights, you don't have to use them. If you want to add them in, let's go. So we're just going to lunge from side to side, wide lunges. So you should get your heart rate, you should feel it going up. You should also feel your legs going, and you using the butt, the gluteus maximus, so you should feel that. So the faster you go, the more your heart rate goes up. From here, we're going to go into front kicks, bringing the arms up at the same time. So this is working our arms, our legs, our core, and getting our heart rate up. So remember, lunges, kicks. Got it? See you next time.
You know, Tasha is someone who describes herself as having been morbidly obese. And she got involved in getting into shape, and it became a passion for her. And the next thing she knows, she became a certified fitness trainer. Very much a success story. Now, give us a Tidewater Stratus success story. Tell us about one of yours.
Yeah, I've got a friend, and actually she was featured in Dr. Oz's magazine.
Oh, really?
Not too long ago. But
Okay.
there's programs from the couch to a 5K, which supposedly takes you off of a couch.
Right.
That's all you did and had a sedentary lifestyle, and to training to do a 5K, 5-kilometer race.
Okay.
Well, she's in that mindset and started training, trains with us, races with us, and she's shed quite a few pounds. Continues to race, continues to train, and is really motivated.
Very good.
She was a real success and inspires others.
Now, you are a walker that gets in a lot of steps. What are you doing, about 5 miles when you?
When I race?
Yeah.
Now I do mostly marathons.
Okay. A walking marathon?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't aware.
Oh, yeah.
And 5 miles is 80,000 steps, so you're getting a lot of steps. So when did you start walking? How often do you walk now? And what is the distance? How does the distance compare to what you first started and where you are now walking?
Well, I started walking when I was 12 months old, plus or minus.
We got a comedian in the group.
I started walking competitively about 17 years ago. I used to run, and I was a middle at the back of the pack runner, and I had some injuries, some running injuries. And my doctor at the time suggested maybe I take up a different sport. So I got into race walking, competitive race walking, and did pretty good at it. And in those days, I used to mainly do 5K races or 10K, which is 3.1 miles or 6.2 miles. But as I've gotten older and slower, I've gone to the longer distances. So I like doing the half marathons. I've done some 24-hour races, some 48-hour races.
24 hours and 48 hours.
So a 50-mile race. So
Wow.
go a little slower, but go further.
That's fantastic. That's pretty impressive. Dr. Brown, we're going to be offering at the Walk Norfolk Week on our kickoff event, we're going to be offering a bunch of free health screenings. So we're going to put some of those up on the screen. But can you tell us the type of things that we're going to be offering?
I'm going to be offering blood pressure checks, sugar checks. We check your blood sugar. We're going to also do to check your body mass index, as well as vision checks and hearing checks.
Okay. And Steve, the inaugural walk is a short distance, but it's a nice little distance. And as I was sharing with you guys earlier, we were able to get a celebrity person to serve as a Grand Marshal, Mr. Greg Scott, formerly with was a defensive lineman with the Washington Redskins and with the Cincinnati Bengals. And he's going to kick things off for us, and I expect he will probably walk with us as well. Well, what is that route that we're going to take?
Sure, it's going to begin at the Norfolk Department of Public Health, the main public health center at 830 Southampton Avenue, which is at the intersection of Collie and Brambleton. It'll move over to Plum Point Park at 1001 West Brambleton Avenue, continue to Fort Norfolk at 801 Front Street, and then makes the return trip.
Okay, so it's a short walk, but it's a celebration of what we're about to do in terms of getting into fitness. And what time does the walk start?
That'll start at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, all right. And Mr. Brooks, Phil, we have a host of agencies that are helping us stage Walk Norfolk Week. Can you give us some idea of what they?
Sure, I'd be delighted. We have the Illuminating Good Health Coalition, the Norfolk Department of Public Health, of course, the Greater Norfolk Medical Society, Norfolk Community Health Center, Hampton Roads Global Humanitarian Project, the Norfolk Community Services Board, Norfolk Medical Reserve Corps, Tidewater Striders, as you've heard, the Norfolk Department of Utilities, More Wellness Solution, Centera Cancer Network, Norfolk CERT Community Emergencies Response Team, Norfolk Redevelopment and Housing Authority, the American Cancer Society, American Diabetes Association, the Women's Alliance, the Mediation Center of Hampton Roads, and that's pretty much the group.
Yes, and you know what's amazing is that we're constantly picking up people. Just this week, we don't have them on the board as like the Mediation Center, but just this week we picked up the Cover 3 Foundation, which is a foundation that was founded by Greg Scott. Again, this is the gentleman that's going to be our Grand Marshal. And Cover 3 Foundation, they provide summer food to young people who are accustomed to getting their food throughout the school year, and they have a program throughout the school year as well. But they have a summer food service program, and they provide services to kids throughout the region. So the Cover 3 Foundation has joined us, as well as I'm very pleased to report that Healthy Norfolk, the City of Norfolk program, Healthy Norfolk is joining us as well. Now, where can folks find information about Walk Norfolk Week?
There are two websites, www.norfolk.gov/Walk Norfolk Week, also www.facebook.com/Walk Norfolk Week, or they may call 757-683-8836.
757-683-8836.
That's correct.
And that happens to be my direct dial number at the Norfolk Department of Public Health. The Norfolk Community Health Center, located at 1401 Tidewater Drive.
That is correct.
Okay.
It's near the corner of Tidewater Drive and St. Julian Avenue.
Okay. I'm curious. I know, as you said, the Norfolk Community Health Center kind of grew out of the Norfolk Community Hospital.
Yes.
And you were an administrator at Norfolk Community Hospital. How did that whole thing come about, if you don't mind my asking? Because it's fascinating.
Well, how did the center come about?
Yes.
Yes. We had a group of physicians who were associated with the hospital, and there were a few of them who were actually located in the building.
In the hospital building?
In the hospital building.
Okay.
And when the hospital closed, we wanted to continue providing health services, especially in underserved areas. And needless to say, Huntersville is a health shortage manpower service area. And so we relocated there, and we've continued to provide primary medical services. And it's right in the heart of the community.
And you have a bunch of different specialties.
Yes.
Dr. Wright, what is he doing
We
again?
have a general surgeon, Dr.
Okay.
Richard Wright.
Right.
We have a podiatrist,
Okay.
Dr. Frank Mercer.
Okay.
Dr. Angela Mercer is an internal medicine physician.
Okay.
We have a family practice nurse practitioner, Dr. Diana White.
Okay.
And we did have a home health agency until just recently.
I see.
But they've relocated. They outgrew the space they were in, and they moved to Chesapeake.
I'm curious, and I think I have a pretty good idea of why, but why does the Norfolk Community Health Center see a program like Walk Norfolk Week as something valuable? Do you see a disproportionate incidence of people being overweight and obese that come to your location?
Overwhelmingly, the people are overweight, and good exercise is thought to be one of the greatest things one can do to improve overall health status. As indicated, it tends to lower blood pressure, diabetes, and certainly it helps you emotionally, and certainly save you a few dollars on your clothes.
Right. Well, you might have to buy some new clothes. Yeah, and it just when you do that, when you see yourself losing weight, you know, I can speak from personal experience. Again, that's been up and down for me, but when you see yourself losing weight, it's a great boost. Todd Wood-Estradas, you and Dave and I chatted, and why is the Todd Wood-Estradas becoming involved in Walk Norfolk Week? What motivates you? I mean, you bring a great resource to us.
Yeah, well, we think that you know, the exercise is incredibly important, and if we can provide camaraderie, a club, people to walk with, people to train with, the idea that there's somebody else maybe going through the same thing you're going through, and you can meet them at a number of us go to Mount Trashmore in Virginia Beach and train on Saturday mornings. If you can meet a group, train with a group, and start getting in a routine, then hopefully that'll inspire people to lose weight.
And that has, again, as we were saying, a lot of health benefits. And you guys were smart enough to not just focus on running, but you started walking and other things. But the walking, when you added walking to your regimen of physical activities, what did that do to your membership? Did it help to boost your membership?
Certainly, yeah, it increased the membership, no doubt, because you know, it's a whole other group of folks that weren't involved prior to that. So.
Dr. Brown, when I was asking the gentleman here about how they become involved with Walk Norfolk Week, you were nodding your head when I asked them if they saw incidents of folks being overweight and obese. And the Greater Norfolk Medical Society is a conglomerate, as it were, of a bunch of different doctors. What do you think when you guys deal with people being overweight and obese?
Right, and that has to do with our mission statement. So the Greater Norfolk Medical Society, their mission statement is to serve the community and help them with education, advocacy, and promoting activities that improve the overall ability for people to gain access to health care, to reduce the health disparity. So that's the purpose. And by having or treating mainly African American patients, you see that these health disparities are taking place, and find out the reasons why, and to promote things that are healthy. So like the walk, to help them reduce their blood pressure. And
you're speaking about something that's very near and dear to me, health disparities.
yes.
There's a coalition that is providing the lion's share of the agencies that are working with Walk Norfolk Week. It's the Illuminating Good Health Coalition, of which the Greater Norfolk Medical Society is a member, as well as the Norfolk Community Health Center and a bunch of other folks like the American Cancer Society, American Diabetes Association, and I probably shouldn't start listing them because I want to miss somebody, and I don't want anyone to get upset with me. But we are in anticipation of the Tidewater Striders joining us as well. Guys, I want to thank you so very much for joining us today for this very special edition of Health Watch to talk about Walk Norfolk Week. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you on board. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And we want to thank you for joining us. But before I do my formal close, I want to make sure I give you that contact information again for Walk Norfolk Week. You can find out more about Walk Norfolk Week at www.norfolk.gov/Walk Norfolk Week. You can also find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Walk Norfolk Week. Now, so far as Health Watch is concerned, you can catch previous editions of Health Watch online at www.norfolk.gov/Health Watch. If you'd like to drop me a line, you can email me at terrence.affer-anderson@vdh.virginia.gov. Please also feel free to give me a call at 757-683-8836. For the Norfolk Department of Public Health, I'm Terrence Affer-Anderson, and this has been Health Watch.